Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in this world. Welcome to another Monday morning art talk. I just wanted to let you know that right now I'm taking applications. I've been taking applications for my next class that begins January 11th. Just 5 people in the class, home studio mentorship. If you're interested, you can go to silvertunes.com and just go to the classes and click on the application and send it in. All right. So today what I wanted to talk about was just investing in yourself. Now, it's a lesson that I honestly learned when I was a young kid. My uncle from Ireland, he owned his own clothing manufacturing place. He was making just children's clothes, and that's what he did. That was his business. I mean, just a huge history is how he built it up and just sort of like self-made, started it all doing that. Eventually it's cool, you know, he's made enough money in his lifetime where he actually owned the house in Ireland where Lord Ismay lived, the guy who was responsible for the architect of building the Titanic. And he was the one who, if you guys know the story, dressed up as a female to get off the boat to save his own life. But it was this huge estate. Now, I'd love to say that I received an inheritance from this man, but I didn't. But God bless his soul and the gift that he gave me. And the gift that he did leave me was that to always invest in yourself. And that's not saying that don't invest in the stock market or do those things. Maybe some of you guys don't even, what the hell's that all about? Maybe sometime in your life you will. But what he was referring to was just invest in yourself. Every time you sort of earn money, that you do something, that now you take that money and you put it back into your company, your brand, what it is that you're building. And a lot of people don't learn this lesson. And I think that's why I want to share it with you, because I feel it's a valuable lesson. It's something that I live my life and still do live my life doing, is just always investing in myself. Even though I may offer my services and do things for studios, I'm still always investing in myself and always have. And the lesson that I learned through that was where this is how you get things started in your life and in your career, is because you may want to make your own book, or you may want to, I mean, there's great sources now like Kickstarter and all that, but you may want to make your own book. You may want to make your own dolls, your own maquettes, your own, you name it, little trinket. I don't care what it is that you have in your vision, your own comic book, your own web comic, whatever it is that you want to do. It's an idea that now needs to be seen, because that's what we're all trying to do. We're trying to get our work seen. We are, as artists, we're all investing in our own brand. Whether you become a director or showrunner, whatever you're doing, you want people to see the work that you've thought up and accomplished and done. And that's the reality of it. You want people to know who you are and what you've done. And if you're not trying to do that, you're lying to yourself, because the same reason you're trying to get into a gallery show is to get people to see your work, and the hope that people will pay for your work and that people will help you support your career. Doing it is what you want to do. That's the dream. That's what we're all trying to accomplish. That's what we're all trying to do. So don't fool yourself by pretending you're not trying to accomplish that. So now by investing in yourself is like, you have your job, whatever your job is that brings you money. You work at Target, you work at Starbucks, you work wherever, whatever it is you're doing. Your goal now is to start saving that money, much like I did when I was working as a dishwasher, when I was working doing paper outs, waking up at 5 in the morning, when I was working at the grocery store, just bagging groceries. these things that I was always doing. I was always had an idea in my mind that I wanted to do something with art. I didn't know what, I didn't understand it. But what I did was I saved my money. So I set up just my own separate bank account, and the bank account, right? Checking and savings. I had a checking and I had a savings, but I would put money into my savings, knowing that someday I want to spend that. So maybe I'm not going to buy that thing that I don't really need or necessarily want at this time. That's not going to benefit me anyhow. And I realized that's not going to benefit me. And I think that's the value where we got to look at things that we're going to purchase. And I'm not saying don't enjoy vacations, don't enjoy the fun little things, but set that money aside for investment in yourself, to purchase things, to all of a sudden say, hey, you know what? My Kickstarter campaign didn't work out, but you know what? I have enough money on the side here that I'm going to invest in myself, much like I did with my very first book that I ever did. I had money that I was saving for when the time came and the time was right, and that time wasn't supposed to be any other time than that moment in time where I decided I'm going to publish my very first book, The Art of Silver. It's a green book, a 100 and something page book. I'm going to do that. I'm going to invest in myself and make this book, and it's going to be a lot of money, and I'm taking a big gamble, and I got a kid on the way. You know, I didn't even have my first kid yet, and it was a gamble, and it was one of those risks that I talked to my wife about. It's like, you know, can we do this? It's like we had to pull money out of all our savings and stuff like that 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 we're always in fear of, got to save for that rainy day. But so it was that risk that I did that and took the risk, went out to Comic-Con, got a booth, and started, selling my book and on my way into my publishing world that I do. And that was the thing where, again, the investment in oneself is now what you need to do with that money you're putting aside and that idea you have in your head. The only way you're going to know if something works is by doing it. Your idea may flop. So what? It flops. Didn't work out. You invested, but you know what? You learned. And that's what this is all about. It's about that testing ground. It's about you putting yourself out there to see if what you're even doing people even want. Maybe people don't want your buttons. Maybe people don't want your books. Maybe people don't want your prints. You don't know yet. You don't know until you take that risk and put yourself out there with money that you've saved to invest back in yourself to make the product that you want to sell. And so once you do that, now you step it up, and now you're challenging yourself in life, and you're giving yourself a purpose and a reason and momentum and something to explore and try and enjoy and do. And that's what it's about. It's all about these little things that you're going to do throughout your life that sort of make it exciting, which give it a little bit of extra oomph. Where maybe you feel bored or unfulfilled in your life. Maybe you're unfulfilled because you're not challenging yourself. You're not taking all the risks that you keep talking about, and you just are so afraid of what the end result's going to be that you don't even do it. So put your money where your mouth is, so to speak, and take your money that you're saving, that you're working for, so then when you go to that work every day where it's drudgery and you're miserable and you're unhappy with your job, but you know what? You have the outcome in your mind. You know that I want to take this. I'm slaving away here, but there's a bigger picture. There's something else I want to do. I'm going to take that money from this job that I hate, and I'm going to put it and invest it back in me. And that's what you do. And you invest it back in you. Now you go out there and test the market, because that's what it is. It's a market. We live in a marketplace. It's no different than the Roman times and the Greek times where there were marketplaces where you went out and you took the money, little bit of money you earned just to buy the things that you needed, and gold, and where it all created and where it all came from. That's what you're doing and need to do to take that next step forward. If you want to move forward, if you have that desire to move forward, if that's your personality, you may not. You may be the person that just wants to show up and sit at a desk, and there's nothing wrong with that. Just show me where to go. Just tell me, listen, I just want to work for that company and have my nice comfortable desk and work there and work until they let me go. And when they let me go, then I'm going to search for that next job. But I must say, even if you're doing that, I would say to you and encourage you while you're doing that, work on your own things on the side. Do these pet projects on the side. Take that money from that job you're working at that you wanted in those studios that you so desired. Take that money and now invest in yourself and let the world know who you are. Let the world know what you do. Find your target, find your audience. And now when you go out there and you test the market and you see, are people even interested in what you want? No, it's, well, shoot, I spent all that money and it's not really working out. People just aren't buying it. So this is where you gotta reinvent yourself. You gotta constantly, you can't just stay there and keep going to convention after convention. I'd say test yourself in at least 5 different conventions, see what the flow is. What I've found in the convention world, and I've been doing it for years now, and I've done hundreds and all over the world, really, conventions. And when I do these conventions, it is a test audience, and some audience react so much more to certain prints and books than other ones do, and it's fascinating, and I can't dictate it, and the reality is you don't know. It's a crapshoot, in all honesty, every single time. But you will know after doing about 5 different conventions whether or not that convention, whether or not people are really truly interested in your work. Or if all of a sudden you hit a market, maybe you go to a convention and you're selling, I don't know, dragon prints. That's your thing. You love drawing dragons. And you go and you're doing all these cons and no go. Shit, man, I'm not making any money. This sucks. You all of a sudden go to some dragon con or something and in some place, and all of a sudden, holy moly, man, people are loving this. Well, that's your tribe, that's your market. So your job now is not to do all those maybe animation ones that weren't working out for you. Your job now is to start to say, okay, where are all the fantasy illustration Comic-Cons going on? Because those are my people. That's my market. That's who I'm trying to reach. And so you experiment with that, and that's how you start to build it and find it and do what it is that you want to do. But this is all investing in yourself. And then you start to realize, oh my God, people are loving what I'm doing. That's what happened to me. People reacted to what I was doing, and that's all this amalgamation. This has all been just a buildup of how I saw people reacting to what I was doing, and people liked what I was doing. And in my mind, I'm like, well, that's kind of weird. That's kind of cool. And you're going through it and you realize that, hey, that's what works. And so you keep that momentum because you know it works and you know it's healthy and you feel good about it and you make other people feel good about it. And that's how the system works. So that's why I just kind of want to say to you, just take the time to invest in yourself. It was the greatest advice that my uncle Jack gave me, and it was just, you know, phenomenal. That and it really works, and it really made a lot of sense. Okay, this world is ever changing. It is ever evolving. Social media, as we know, is a large platform, and it requires just your own persistence on that. You gotta, that's another thing, you know, it's just like social media made it almost a lot harder and tougher for artists now, because back in the day, you didn't necessarily have to work so hard at letting people know what it is you do. The advantage to it, you don't have to spend all the money in advertising. By people putting on content, you're not spending what companies used to do, thousands of dollars just trying to hope that someone would open up a magazine. And now through social media, it's given that driving force of sharing, open up a whole new world. But also it's a whole new world where you got to be willing to partake in social media and say that this is part of my life, is what I do now. This is why you're posting on the Instagrams, the Facebook, all these different avenues, because this is part of you sharing what it is that you're doing, that you putting out, you're investing in yourself. It all comes down to investing in yourself. That's all we're trying to do across the board. Just remember that there's no fooling yourself ever. Goal is just simply invest in yourself. Invest in yourself to where you've invested in your skill set, to where your skill set is so much greater now that when you go out to show the client goes yes, not no. We don't want to hear no's. We want to hear yeses. We want to hear, yeah, this guy's great. I want to hear this. I want to buy this. I want to use it. I want to see it. So that's where you're investing in yourself, not just in that financial level, but you're investing in yourself to grow as an artist, to start getting yourself to those places. So all around, the most common theme, the best word you can use is invest in yourself, in mind, in body, in spirit, in work, in everything that you do. Invest in yourself. That's it. Thanks for watching. Have a great one, and I'll talk to you guys next week. Take care. this is Steven, and I just wanted to tell you about this cool thing that I'm doing right now through my website at silvertunes.com. It's a Skype mentorship. In a sense, what I want to do is just talk to you, meet you, tell me about things that are happening in your life, see if there's anything that I could do to help you. I can look over your artwork, do your portfolio, and just maybe try to push you in the right direction that you want to take your life and your journey, all right? So you can go to silvertunes.com, go to classes, click on mentorship, and you can learn all about it. We can try to arrange a time, set up a date. It doesn't matter where you live in the world. And I just wanted to make it just very affordable, just to open it up, because I love doing this. I love meeting people from all over the planet. It's a really cool thing, and with this technology, why not? So that's it. Thanks. Whoa! Hey! Go back. Go back.
Go back.
Great. Go back. Go.